Back in September 2020, I picked up this pair of vintage Electricians Snips or scissors. And as you can see, they were quite rusty and a bit grubby, not very nice at all. They were chrome plated, but the rust had started to come through the chrome. So what I've had to do is give them a bit of a clean up, and for this I used my wire brush, some Scotch-Brite and a little rust converter as well. And here is a finished result. What do you think of this, guys? I think they've cleaned up quite nicely. They look a lot better than they did when I first got them. I mean, you can still see signs of rust on the blades, but hopefully that shouldn't go too bad because of the rust converter, which has made it go a bit dark. It should hopefully put a stop. There's a little bit of rust there, look. But it should hopefully put a stop to it going mad again. But they don't look too bad, do they? I mean, they don't look as good as they would have done when they were new, but these could be from the 50s or 60s maybe. They're not bad to use. They feel nice and comfortable, I guess, for the time. I mean, for my large hands and my large thumb there, look, they leave a little bit to be desired. Unlike the modern counterparts here with the nice plastic handles. I've had those ones for quite a while. These I've just picked up over Christmas. They're quite nice, aren't they? So, what can we do with these little fellas, do you suppose? They share many of the same attributes as my modern Electricians scissors. We have the notch just here, as you can see, for cutting wires and cables. These are some very serious serrations on the forward part of the lower blade here, but not on the upper blade, as you can see. This pair are a little different in that they don't have the serrations down the edge of this part of the blade here, and nor do they have any along here either. But we do have the cable cutting notch there, wire cutting notch, and we also have some wire stripping notches cut into the blade, as well as some serrations just at the back of the blade here for filing or you know, making a hole bigger, what have you. But other than that, very nice pair of scissors. These ones are very fine on here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that at all. You can just about make that out, look. This pair also have the serrations down both edges of the blade for the same purposes as the Laoas here, as you can see. I wonder what they cut like. I did have to tighten the screw up a little bit, which took some bit of work, and you can actually see the not quite the manufacturer because they didn't put their name on it, which is surprising. Forged steel, chromium, which means they're plated, as you can see, and made in England. And these originally had painted handles on them, green painted handles, as opposed to the modern scissors with the plastic over mould, which is quite nice. This pair are plastic and rubber. So I wonder if these can still cut wires, etc. Okay, so I've got a selection of bits and pieces here. We'll start with this stuff here. This is like, I can't think what it's called now, but it's for pulling cables through conduits. It's a nylon material, I believe, and it's, as you can see, it's interwoven, and this stuff does take some cutting with both knives and scissors. So let's get the old vintage scissors in. Where are they? There they are. See what they can do, shall we, guys? They are cutting through it, but it is taking a while. This stuff is very strange stuff to cut. But there we go. Let's cut it quite nicely, as you can see. What can we do with brown paper here? Oh yeah, right down to the end of the snips, look. If you look closely, you can also see the marks left by the serrations on the blade, look, on the lower blade. It's interesting. Nice clean cut though. I still can't find my earthing cable, but I've still got this stuff kicking about. Let's give that a go. This is multi-stranded copper wire inside this sheath here. If we can get the camera to focus. Let's see if we can cut this then. As I say, we cut it in the little cutout here. Oh yeah. Quite happy to cut that up. I think it's left a little bit of a whisker there. Got rid of that. What about in the serrated part of the blade? That takes a bit more effort. It's done it though. Can we strip the wire with it? Let's give it a go. Give it a gentle... I don't know, can we do that? Because it's quite thick, the insulation. This is tri-rated. Not quite. Not getting in there far enough, am I really? Oh yeah, there we go. That's done it. I have some much more heavy duty earth cable going on here. Again, multi-stranded, as you can see. Can we cut this? Let's have a look. Get it in there. I might have to... yeah, look at that. It's cut it off quite nicely, actually. Well done. Vintage scissors. Nice. Here I have some 2.5mm twin and earth from Mains here in the UK. I've stripped this end off a little bit. What can we do with the 1.5mm here? Let's cut that off, all right. Try the thicker stuff, the 2.5mm. I think I'm going to have to... wow. It's done it though. Nice. What about slicing the insulation up? Again, we're going to have to... there we go, get hold of them like this. But it's cut it. It's done a nice job too. So that's not bad, is it? For probably... these may even be older than I am. And they're still going. Look at that. Wow. So look at that. After all this time, these old fellas are still doing what they were designed to do. They certainly knew how to make stuff back in the day, and I think that's one of the advantages of forged steel as well. I mean, I know it goes rusty, as we can see there, which is why they've had to chrome plate these, but it makes it a very strong steel. As I say, you can still see it's cutting rather well here. We haven't damaged, that I can see, the cutters any more than they were when we first got them back in 2020. I thought I picked these up earlier this year, but I didn't. It was 2020. But what a very nice pair of, I'm going to say, Electricians shears. I mean, you might think they're for pruning, but for myself, I think they are Electricians shears. It looks like I've started a collection of Electricians scissors, doesn't it, guys? I had these several years ago. These are Laowa. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, Laowa. Quite nice thick blades on them. These are very nice, actually nice and comfortable with the plastic over-moulded handles. Quite nice indeed. I like those. Got wire stripping notches here. And I've only just recently picked this pair up this week because I was looking for another pair of EDC scissors here. I quite like these ones, quite nice design, etc. And I've been looking at a few other designs out there on the web as well. I quite like this this design here. This looks very interesting. I'm definitely going to have to purchase a pair of these. But getting back to the original scissors of today's video, what do you think of these guys? Still going after all these years. I say, I don't know how old these are. There's no year on them. There's no manufacturer on them. But they've lasted probably, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 years. They're still here with us today. As I say, I think they were used by electricians, but you know, you guys might think they're pruning, but for me, these are Electricians scissors. What a nice pair they are too. I will be looking out at the car boot sale this year, which starts in a few months' time, for more interesting scissors, possibly some more vintage Electrician scissors like these. I don't know what it is, but just at the moment I've got quite a thing for interesting scissors, Electrician scissors, etc. And so I've been looking at quite a few on the interwebs. But this pair here, very nice indeed. So they did need a bit of a cleaning up, but what do you think of them now, guys? I think they've come up quite nicely. The rust converter has turned the rust black and should hopefully stop them going bad again. I had to tighten the pivot pin here because it was quite loose. I put a drop of oil in here, 3-in-1 oil in the joint. They work quite nicely now, because they were really quite stiff when I got them, but now these they work quite nicely, don't they? And I believe also I ran a diamond file over this blade here just to bring it back to life a little bit. But other than that, what an absolutely wonderful pair of vintage Electricians shears. You'll have to let me know what you think, guys. Okay then, don't forget you can subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. All of the scissors you see here are on Instagram right now, so pop over there and take a look. I already have a review of these little fellas on my channel, so I'll put you a link just here so you can take a look at that review. I'm going to be reviewing these little fellows at some point in the future as well, because these are quite nice. I like these little rubber over-moulded handles there, quite nice. Got a little wire stripper in there too. Pick those up from Screwfix. And as I say, I'll be looking out for more vintage pliers in the near future then. Vintage scissors in the near future. So especially more electrician's scissors, or any other interesting scissors I can find out there, because I'm sure there's bound to be something of interest out there waiting for me to be pick them up during the coming year at the car boot sales. So yeah, keep an eye on the channel for that one. Okay guys, well thanks for popping over, thanks for taking a look at these rather interesting vintage Electricians shears, snips, scissors, whichever you like to call them. And I hope you'll pop back for another video in the very near future then, guys. Okay then, thanks for watching.